Hello, good people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again. It's no longer news that Imo State have lost 17 oil wells to Rivers State in the Supreme Court. And as of yesterday, if you check our video, you're going to see the news where some sons of Olu came out so strong against the current governor of Imo State, talking about Uzodinma over losing 17 oil wells to River State, lambasted him, rejected him also publicly, and also promised that he will not be re-elected as the governor of Imo State come 2023. They said a lot of things. Just need to check that news to see it for yourself. But right now, we can also have this to tell Uzodinma and call it mockery or something. You wouldn't be wrong because he is talking about why Uzodinma must accept the verdict as far as it is coming from the Supreme Court. We're going to give you full details of this. It's going to be a long read, but just follow me and we'll get there and then we'll analyze much about this particular issue of losing of oil wells. And according to the news, the governor of Rivers State, Imo Wike, has asked the Imo State governor, Uzodinma, to abide by the Supreme Court decision which held that the disputed 17 oil wells located in territories bordering Imo and Rivers State belongs to the latter. We can also urge Uzodinma to recall that it was through the intervention of the same Supreme Court that he was declared governor of Imo State, and it would amount to double standards if his body language is against the verdict of the court. The Apex Court had in 2020 quashed the election of Emeka Ihedioha of the People Democratic Party and declared Uzodinma as Imo State governor, having agreed that 388 polling units, which the latter one was not counted when votes were collated. On Friday, the Apex Court stated that historical documents showed that affected oil wells belonged to Rivers State, even though Imo had earlier challenged the court jurisdiction. Reacting to the verdict, Wike maintained that the Supreme Court has laid to rest the issues of ownership but advised his counterpart to play by the rules. In approaching the Supreme Court in this oil well matter, we believe that the dispute between the two states and the contentious issues are such that the court can judicially, justly, and expeditiously determine with the available fact and supporting evidence, including valid administrative maps, subsisting judgments, and other relevant documents. And so the Supreme Court has finally and conclusively resolved the dispute and granted full and exclusive ownership of all the disputed oil wells in Akiri and Mbede oil field to River State, much to everyone's relief. Although Governor Uzodinma was not the mastermind of the impulsive trajectory that compelled us to seek intervention and protection of the courts, he nevertheless participated fully in the litigation process to the end without engaging the Rivers State government for a possible or political solution. However, his reaction to the judgment of the lower court on this matter were clearly uncalled for. Indeed, it was rather unfortunate that for someone who became governor through the instrumentality of the judiciary could turn around to castigate the very institution that made him ruler over the good, peaceful, and progressive people of Imo State. Now that the Supreme Court has spoken, we hope Governor Uzodinma will accept the outcome in good faith, refrain from his usual distribe against the judiciary, and explore possible pathways to accommodation and compromise from the River State government. Wike has said in a statement. Wike further accusing her agents and agencies of the federal government of conniving to deprive River State of its due. The statement partly reads, "Let us recall that following the disputed claims to the location and ownership of some oil wells at Akiri and Mbede oil field between Imo and River State in 1999, the governors, Their Excellency Achike Udenwa and Dr. Peter Odili, respectively, worked out a political settlement and mutually settled for a 50-50% beneficiary sharing of the derivation derivation proceed accruing from these well pending the proper demarcation of the boundaries between the two states by the National Boundary Commission. While the dispute lingered, nothing was done by the NBC to demarcate the boundaries of the two states and establish the proper location and title to the disputed oil wells. However, instead of instigating the NBC to do the right thing, Governor Emeka Ihedioha of Imo State, shortly after assuming office, repudiated the subsisting 50-50% sharing ratio and made provocative claim to the exclusive ownership of the entire Akiri and Mbede oil wells. In order to actualize this spurious claim, he stealthily wrote a letter dated 9 August 2019 to President Muhammadu Buhari and requested for the refund of the sum of 15 million naira or 15 billion naira from Rivers State to Imo State as backing of accrued proceeds from the 13% derivative of the said oil wells. Acting on Governor Ihedioha's letter, Mr. President warranted a letter to be written to the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Policy through his late chief of staff, Mr. Abakari, to alter the status quo against in favor of Imo State without reference to the subsisting dispute and agreement between the two states. Surprised by the surreptitious plot and collusive action of the government of Imo State and the NBC to overreach the legal interests of Rivers State in the disputed oil wells, the Rivers State government opted to approach the court for a just and lasting resolution. Accordingly, we first applied to the Federal High Court of Abuja and among other reliefs successfully challenged the powers and authority of Mr. President to give directive to the RMFAC or interfere in any manner whatsoever with the distribution of public revenues from the distributable account within the Federation account. Not satisfied with the positive
as contained
ruling
under
of the Federal High Court, the Imo State Governor appealed to the Court of Appeal and lost. We then proceeded against the government of Imo State at the Supreme Court in a fresh suit for final and conclusive determination of the boundary dispute between our two states. In approaching the Supreme Court in this matter, we believe that the dispute between the two states and the contentious issues are such that the court can judicially, justly, and expeditiously determine with the available facts and wish supporting evidence, including valid administrative maps, 16 judgment,
Imo State and Rivers State in those two communities are inaccurate, incorrect, and
really
not represent the legitimate
issue
and lawful
that
boundaries.
Nothing can be done about it, because if you listen to everything I've read, you will see that it has been concluded by the court. But I feel that Uzodinma will not give up, especially with the level of pressure he's receiving from his people, for losing that number of oil wells, and I feel that he is working on something
to determine
strong
the extent
to
of the
prove to
territorial
Wike that
jurisdiction
what they have on ground was not actually the right thing. We'd like to leave it there. Just go to our conversation. What's your
to Rivers State that actually that the correct instrument map and documents to be relied on in determining the boundary between Rivers and Imo State are those used by Rivers State in delineating the boundary lines between the two states. Now, if you listen to all of that, you will notice that if this guy has gone an extra mile, who knows, possibly he would have pulled through with better explanation, or maybe had gotten enough legal framework and enough possibly surveyors and people who have historical facts about that particular boundary. Possibly it would have been given to him, but be that as it may, it has been concluded by the Supreme Court. What the people are now saying is that we cannot re-elect you. If you can be on the throne, you can be the governor of Rivers State, and we end up losing everything. We just can't forgive you like that. And the penalties for me is really much for the guy to bear. But don't forget that politics is something that cannot be, it's a game that cannot be explained with so much details. And Olu people, he may fail in Olu, but you may be surprised that he may end up winning in other places. Don't forget that this Olu we are talking about, apart from the issue, apart from the fact that They've taken as much as 17 oil wells from them. Another issue still standing before them is the case of insecurity. They have been stripped of peace. They have been stripped of business opportunity. Nobody thinks about Olu if you are planning any form of investment. Why? Because it has become the citadel of insecurity in the southeast, especially in Imo State. So the people are feeling the pains, and it's like we have lost everything. Even the oil wells that we have lost. What was the essence of our Olu boy, Olu indigene being there? And that's why they have made this statement. Do you think that they'll be able to stop him in 2023? Let's interact in our comment section. Thank you very much.